Hello there everybody, it's No Blitz, and today we're going to talk about the Gargoyle. As you've already noticed, the gun is really big on the Gargoyle, and I'll tell you about the gun in a minute. So as you can see, the tank actually has armor, 90mm on the front, the rest is paper, but the gun, it's truly amazing. The weight is actually, quite heavy, but the aiming time is 3.3 seconds, 105mm gun. 3.3 seconds of aiming time, just wow. Dispersion is awful at 0.45, reload time is 12.3, which means you're really weak. Penetration 100mm, heat is 132, high explosive is 58, penetration 58, like, wargaming, nerf this tank, please. And you deal 280 per shot per AP, 250 per heat, and 410 for high explosive. That means if you're up against a tier 4, you will immediately wreck their day. And of course, the gun depression is 6 degrees, which is not very good. The weight is 25 tons, which is not very heavy at all. That means you shouldn't ram anybody, not really. And you have your engine is quite average, 40 kilometers top speed, and your hull traverse is quite average. But I'm going to show you a replay of how this tank plays. Also, I love the design. Reminds me of eating tier 4s for breakfast. So here we are into a replay. Everybody plays Gargoyles now. It's like a tank that has taken over tier 5 matchmaking. We're gonna jump directly into battle because some people are really bad Wi-Fi. But yeah, my FPS has been not normal after 8.0 update, so I'm not sure what's happening there. But as you can see, we are climbing up to position really fast. As you can see, we are actually doing quite good. Climbing hills is not a problem for this tank. As I said, it's like your normal Panzer 4G. Now this boy is going to try to side scrape. Look at this boy. Oh, 293. Oh, does that hurt? That hurts so much if you get hit by Gargoyle at tier 5. Of course, if you're tier 6, it doesn't hurt as much. Fire. Oh, you wait till see how much damage this does. 429 for fire. Oh boy. This is like the funnest tank at tier 5. Also, as you can see, I'm going to tell you how to play it, of course. So what you want to do is you want to trade with with the normal tier 5s. Like see you can see here, I did 268 to the Panzer 4G. He did 149 to me. So you can trade with pretty much any single tank at tier 5, but beware of your penetration, as your penetration is not the best. It's a bit below average, but you'll see in a minute here, the alpha damage when you roll high with an AP, how much alpha damage you will do. Just watch this. Oh man, does that hurt? 358. That's like a high roll for a Tiger 2. That's a lot, okay? This tank does the same damage as the T49, but 2 tiers lower. Actually 3 tiers lower. Messed up my math there. But as you can see, this Hetzer is like I'm at half health. Gone. So as you can see, this tank is really fun. It's truly amazing. Thank you Wargaming for implementing this fun tank. It's different than anything we've seen before. I know in World of Tanks PC there's Panzer 4H, I think it was. I'm not sure if the H stands for howitzer, but I'm going to tell you how to play this tank in the next replay. But we did do good damage here, 1.6k damage, which is quite average for your normal tier 5. I don't know what happened there. But as you can see, we did 2 kills. As you can see, the credit coefficient is actually quite good on this tank, which is surprising for a tier 5 collector tank, especially. And as you can see, the enemy team did pretty trash. and I'm gonna show you another replay. So as you can see here, we are going relatively quickly. The power to weight ratio is awful on this tank. Well, it's not awful, but it's okay. Your bad shell velocity, you have bad shell velocity, which is something you want to be careful about. Also, you do have good aiming time, which does sort of make out for your shell velocity, but not really. Also, with this tank, you want to stick to your team. You don't want to go alone. You don't want to rush in and flank around and basically play like a T49. You basically rush in, derp, and get out. That's not the case. You don't have that much mobility to do that. Nice bounce there from the Su-85. That's an example of the trollish space armor this has. As you can see, this has a ton of space armor on the side and on the turret, which allows you sometimes to get some unexpected bounces that you normally wouldn't bounce in a normal Panzer IV or any other tank. Of course, the Panzer IV Panzer IV-G does have space armor on the turret, the improved turret, but normally you wouldn't get this many bounces. Also, to point out, you should not rely on your side armor for side scraping. As we saw earlier, it's paper. You can see here we got some bounces, but don't expect these bounces. You should not expect any bounces from this tank. But this tank does have high alpha, which means you can trade a lot. As you can see, he did 200 to me, I did 293 to him, which is something that's really good to point out. Don't side scrape. This is a very good example. So I'm going to just pause this after I shoot. Nice. So basically, the Su-85 penned us straight through the side armor at a very angled position, which is normal because you should not side scrape. You should not really haul down because you have 6 degrees of gun compression. Your turret is pretty much paper except for the gun mantlet and some space armor. So basically, you should not try any real defensive tactics. Try offensive tactics, like basically playing like medium, supporting your team. You want to have a tank to support you at all times, or else you will die because you have 12.3 second reload, right? So we did lose this round, very, very unfortunate, and we died. But we did alright, I would say quite average, maybe a bit below average. But this tank is actually quite team dependent on winning because of your long reload time. So we did do okay. As you can see, the credit coefficient on this tank is amazing for a tier 5 collector tank. As you will see, the credit coefficient is actually really good, which is something to point out because it's a collector tank, right? Also, this tank, you can get your hands on this tank completely for free. You only have to win 20 battles, which you will probably play 30 battles or 40 battles, and you will get this tank, which is really good from Wargaming to let us get this amazing tier 5 tank. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, and I will see you in the next one.